Hello, Dr. Mayo of BizCrown Media. Happy 2019. Happy New Year. It's awesome that we're in a new year. A new year is always refreshing. It gives you an opportunity to look at things differently, which brings us to what we're here for. 2018 and subsequent years before that were very, very huge when it came to digital marketing and social media marketing. One thing I noticed going into last year was as we progressed in the year, many people would go, wow, I wish I knew you 6 months before. I wish I knew this ahead in the year. And so to help a lot of people not have to deal with that, we have created this session so that you can have an opportunity to know what's really banging when it comes to digital marketing, social media, content marketing, all that stuff in 2019. And the first question you might want to ask is there much of a difference between 2018, what happened in 2018, and what happened in 2019? And I must tell you that there is so much. As a matter of fact, just not dealing with the fundamentals and looking at all the apps and technologies, if you started in 2018 with the strategy looking at all those things, you have to make a huge drastic change going into 2019 because there's been so much upgrades to technology, upgrades to apps. We as consumers, we as human beings have gravitated towards more towards different things that we as marketers can't fight. We just have to sail along with it. And so I'm here to make things a whole lot easier for you and stuff. This webinar is designed to take questions at the end. So please write all your questions. We want to really keep it within the hour because we will be posting this webinar also. So questions are absolutely welcome, but we will be taking them at the end. So please write them down. And after this, we will take them. Now, it's also being structured in such a way so that we can actually edit it and post it out there. So the first thing I want to say is you have to believe. You have to believe. And I say believe is if you're here just to go, I'm skeptical about this stuff, so just let me check it out, you're going to get skeptical results. But if you're actually here with a full open mind, believing that this is going to work for you, what I've realized is it will work because you're going to put so much effort into it. And where effort goes, there are results. And so once it's a targeted effort, you're going to get results. So this strategy session, a few things that we're going to cover. I said strategy session, I'm sorry, webinar session. It's pretty much a strategy session, we would say, right? Is for things that we're going to cover, are social media basics for 2019, current social media trends and apps and how they can help your business in 2019, simple post strategies for major platforms, which are Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, Pinterest, and the WordPress blog or website. Social media for local marketing. That's very huge. Gotta stay very huge. Social media for local marketing. SEO for local marketing. That's search engine optimization for local marketing. Pretty huge. And then we will guide you on how to create or revise your digital marketing plan, going into 2019. So glad you could join us. And I hope that this information helps. So at the end of the year, you're looking and going, wow, that information that Dr. Mayo gave us at the beginning of the year has brought in so much for us that we're looking at 2020 even in a different fashion. So thanks again for joining. And with that, we are going to start into that. Now, think about it. I think it was 20, I'm not sure. Recently, not sure what year it was, where that huge shift happened. But recently, there was a time in these past few years, don't have the data right in front of me here, that we had, I think, 800 million websites. 800 million websites, and within the next year, it jumped to 1.7 billion, all within that time. That period is what I like to call the awakening when it comes to digital marketing, because within a span of a year, digital virtual places, I call websites digital homes doubled, drastically. And it showed that a lot of consumers were very comfortable with this. A lot of marketers realized that, and that happened. Since then, The adoption for digital marketing, the adoption for digital apps has just always been on a high trajectory. And so now it's very important as a brand or as a business to look at the fact that your virtual self, which is your digital self, is pretty important. It actually does a whole lot more for you than your individual self. Why? Because digitally, if you've put a lot of content out there, if you've put a lot of videos out there, then you are available from a digital perspective. There's so much of you as a business that's servicing your business, telling people about what you do, telling people about your philosophy. Even when you're sleeping, even when you step back, you've created so much digital content. And what we know is that your digital content is pretty much immortal. It stays there forever. So it's important that as a brand and as a business that you start taking it pretty serious. So let's go into the first ones. Let's talk about social media basics. So first things first, I always go to the basics. The basics are the fundamentals. My dissertation study in 2014, the first, one of the very first academic research, if not the first academic research on social media for businesses, on the effectiveness of social media for businesses, pointed out three things. It showed that your contacts or your community, your content, and your consistency, your operational consistency are the most important thing. So if I can foster my contacts or build a community with great content consistently, I win here. And that still stands true. I say it stands true because when you look at, even since I've done the studies, when I did my study in 2014, I didn't even think, was there Instagram? I'm not sure if Instagram existed, but even if it did, were there stories then? Were there analytics on them? Was the business profile available then? No, all these things did not exist then. So if I created my strategy based on content, contacts or community or consistency, then I'll be doing things a little differently, right? Now, what's happened is these still matter. These are the basics. They matter, right? Even as technology has changed, these still matter. And these are still the guiding principles for your digital marketing, you know? So just to give a brief overview on this, you want to foster a community, nurture your contacts, right? It's like a store. When you have a store, you have customers that come in. That's your community. When they come in, you say hi, you greet them, you give them incentives, you talk to them. You just don't ignore them, right? Or else why would you be there in that store? So that's what nurtures the contacts and the community, the content. And when you're speaking to them, that's content. Showing them things in the store, you're showing them content. It's all woven in the content, right? Now you're nurturing them as a contact or as a community. At the end, you might ask them their phone number, their email, they give it to you, they buy, then you can, carry on and go. Now, the consistency is important because if I have that attitude today and then tomorrow somebody walks in and I don't talk to them, I don't say hi, I ignore them, maybe I'm just having a bad day. Well, what happens is that person just walks into the store. There is a very low likelihood that they're going to get as much as I would want them to get in that store because I'm not showing them stuff, content. I'm not talking to them as I should, content. I'm not giving them time. I'm not nurturing them. And it's the same philosophy. These basics matter. So no matter what the apps are, no matter what the technology is, no matter what's happening, even if it's a new one that comes in, you should just know that these 3 C's will carry you along. Know how you're going to foster your contacts or your community with absolutely phenomenal content and be consistent about it. And when you're looking at all 3 of these, you're going, which one's more important? And stuff. They're all equally important. But I will tell you that consistency is absolutely important because if I have contacts or a community that I've built and I have content, but I'm not putting it out there consistently, all these fail. So consistency is very important. Very important to make sure that the wheels we're always turning. And a simple way to put consistency is this. Every time you go to McDonald's and their opening hours, there's always somebody there. You don't get there and they go, oh, the manager's using the restroom, so we're closed. They're consistent. It's an operation. So you as a business, too, have to have a consistent operation so that when people always need your services, you are available for them. So let's go into the digital marketing trends now for 2019 to stay on time. Now, the first one we want to point out is artificial intelligence. The world is changing around us. And as a marketer, I tell people the first thing you want to do is the more you can reduce your speculation as a marketer, the better for you. Think of it this way. If I know 50 people that want my service are going to be somewhere, it's very important, if I know that I am there. But the fact is, I know they're going to be there. If I don't know about those 50 people going to be there that might need my service, I'm going to miss out, right? Now, the thing is this, the artificial intelligence comes in knowing that those people want my service, because I could decide to spend my time with 50 other people that don't want my service, right? So for marketers right now, speculation is not your friend, because you can waste so many marketing dollars doing that. A lot of marketing dollars. What you want to focus on is good data to analyze consumer behavior, search patterns, utilizing data from social media platforms, blog posts to help businesses understand how users and customers find their products and services. If I know how people are looking for me from a data standpoint, then I can market to that. And what that's doing is a perfect marriage. I call that a perfect marriage because people that are looking for me are finding me based on what I'm doing. Other than that, what you're doing is throwing things out there and hoping something sticks. And that's why artificial intelligence is very important. So now, before you market, it's not just, hey, we're just going to put this out there. You have to sit down and go, wait, who's going to look at it? Let's look at how they've been looking at our stuff. Let's look at how people look for stuff in that area. Let's look at people's interest on stuff in that area or in this industry before we market there. It's very huge, and that's why artificial intelligence plays a great factor. I can't tell you enough how AI has helped us, especially when it comes to SEO, because we don't do things in the dark. We know exactly where, what, when, and can target for any business that way. It's just phenomenal. It's phenomenal because if then I'm targeting somebody who likes food, I'm getting somebody who likes food within a certain area or not. And I can target the amount of times that they could be exposed to my stuff. So AI is very, very important. Very, very important. And I tell people get a little weird with artificial, oh my God, I'm not too sure. Don't be weirded out about it. Think about it. You like AI because if without that sort of intelligence, you'd be disappointed in a whole lot of things. If you called somewhere and they didn't have your information and how you want to do things there, you'll get pissed. You'll go, hey, I called here 2 weeks ago. Are you meaning to say it's not showing that I called? Are you meaning to say it's not showing that I did this? Like, you guys should have that on file. That is a simple way of looking at AI, So when you call and they know who you are, everything is flowing seamlessly. What you said last time was picked up and stuff. You're like, wow, I'm saving time. I like these guys. And that's why artificial intelligence is very important as a marketer. So stop shooting all over the place. Stop figuring out like, whoa, let's do this. Let me join this. Find out. Analyze with artificial intelligence and then see what that's going to bring out for you, because then you have perfect marriages. You waste less dollars. You reach more people. And then because you're reaching people that are interested in what you have, your engagement spikes. Because these are people that have searched for stuff. So they spend more time on your website. They spend more time on your pages. And so your engagement spikes. Next one is chat box and messaging apps. These are huge. Let's correct that there. Chat box and messaging apps. You might have noticed when you get an Uber, how it responds and stuff. Those are sort of like messaging apps. It's not really somebody there. Those are things that have been programmed in there to help you out and stuff. Now, what we know why chat boxes and messaging apps are good is because these are intelligent tools, right? Intelligent tools. So they don't have attitude. So if I'm chatting, I will a chat box, once it's programmed right, won't misspell, won't give attitude, won't be having a bad day. Quite responsive, which for humans, that's a little different. So what we're seeing is conversions with chat boxes and messaging apps are huge because Once programmed right, you could do a whole lot of communication. This again is a great way for automation, extending yourself, being able to do 100 things at the same time with automation, reaching out and talking to people. And AI, as you can see, artificial intelligence based technology that's used for this. So a lot of companies are using it. You see it in Uber. You see it when you go to websites and the little box pops up and asks the question, hey, chat today. The conversions through those are insane. And you'll get to see a whole lot more of them because they're working, they're working. So again, doesn't give attitude, doesn't take a break, doesn't take a lunch, there's so much it doesn't do that helps the conversions and stuff. So it's something to look at, depending on the scale of your business, but also it's so awesome, for, like Facebook messaging. It's so awesome for like WhatsApp messaging. There's so much that goes on in messages these days that increase conversions a whole lot. And with these tools, you can actually do that. Excuse me. Now let's go to video marketing. With video marketing, video marketing is how do I want to say? Video marketing is here to stay. And video marketing is here not just to stay, it's here to dominate. Now, we are so comfortable with seeing people. We engage more when we see people. We engage more when we see emotions. And I classically say this, that's why you'll notice that an actor will probably make more money than a singer, because the actor is doing a whole lot more than the singer. And the best way to dumb this down is this. Let's dumb it down. Imagine if you wanted to start a long distance relationship. If you were starting a long distance relationship and you first wrote letters to each other, that's a certain emotion that it gives. Now you decide, hey, let's talk to each other. You get on the phone, you actually hear that person. That changes a whole lot of things, right? In the emotion, it spikes it more. Now let's take it up a notch. Now let's decide to do video conferencing. You get to feel that person a whole lot more. Even when you get to see that person in real life, then that's even more. And so it lets you know how important video is. Video is very, very, very important. So with ever decreasing costs of equipment, high quality smartphones and cameras, it's very important these days to find a video strategy, because we convert a lot more, or we relate a lot more to videos. And I noticed last year, in speaking to a lot of my clients, a lot of them would say, hey, I don't even read content. It's the videos I look at, which just makes you know that videos are very, very important. And what we're seeing now, which I would like to highlight here, is the fact that with videos, we're getting what we call the one-on-one video approach now. Because people are comfortable seeing you in organic stands and videos. Think about it. Before, it really called for professional videos. But now with the likes of stories, it's given us the latitude to be more organic, more natural. But it's also raising expectations for you to do that, So the next one is micro moments. Micro moments are very important. We as strategists get told by, I want to say informed by Google a whole lot about this, because local marketing is huge. And what we're realizing is a lot of businesses miss out on on the micro moments. And as a result, revenue goes elsewhere. I'll give you a good example. So I could be here looking for something that a business has a mile away from me. I will go online and search for it, but because a business that's 20 miles away from me has their online game really, really good, my conversion goes to that person 20 miles away, when the person here a mile away could have helped me. Now, it's what you have to look at it. It's also painful for the consumer, because I have to go 20 miles or I have to wait. When I know you're a mile away, it's easier for me to get it, to drive there, to connect with you, and a whole lot. And what we're seeing is through micro moments, a lot of businesses are missing this. This is a huge opportunity, huge opportunity. And as you see, it's termed by Google, it delivers your marketing message clearly and concisely in a way that is of interest to the consumer, all within a span of seconds. Otherwise, they lose their attention on to the next article. That's optimizing your content and your website to pretty much be available for all this stuff. So if you're not, if your website's not optimizing to capture micro moments that people are searching for, then you might have an issue. And that's just very important. I mean, that's just how it is. So see, I'm going to put it here. Here are examples of micro moments. I want to know. I want to go. I want to do. I want to buy. Moments that's happening. Millions and millions of them every minute, every second. And these people want things that you have to offer, but if your content, your marketing isn't capturing this, then you're missing out on this. So those are digital marketing trends. We will continue. Voice search and smart speakers. Now, this is revolutionary in the sense that it's very revolutionary in the sense that this has one of the fastest adoption rates and retention rates. When you see the graph for adoption for voice and smart speakers and stuff, I'll show you. Social media, computers, and all that, those adoptions slant like this. They slant this way amongst a whole lot. Maybe so the youth, maybe social media goes this way, younger generation, older, baby boomers. With smart speakers, the adoption is like this. If I get that right, it is a sharp up, damn near 90 degree. Now, why is that? Why is that? We as consumers, as humans, love the ease of things. So if I have to whip out a smartphone and type, miss all my spellings, I'm not even sure, whip out my glasses as a boomer to kind of figure out, wait, what am I doing? Step back, do this, do that. Or I could just say, hey, what's the weather? What's the weather today?
Today's forecast for West Dundee is 36 degrees and cloudy.
Which one's easier? It just told me that, as opposed to me searching and typing. There you go. So you see why the adoption is huge? Now, here's the kicker. 65% of them say they wouldn't go back to life without their voice-controlled assistant. So, I use it too. And you know what? You will never go back because it's of so much ease. If you have kids and all that. What we're realizing though now is when we're looking for things locally, people ask. People ask for local doctors in Chicago. And it spits.
Local doctors around Chicago. Here you go.
Can you see that? If I could show you my screen based off of that, see what it's done based off of voice search. So it's very important, because it's easier. It will take a lot of minutes to type that as opposed to asking it. The kicker here is for all voice technology, and you'll notice this is highlighted, remember to write in a conversational tone. Focus on getting featured snippets on Google and think about keywords that people will speak rather than type. So when I'm looking for weather today, what do I do? Weather, Chicago. When I'm asking it, I said, what's the weather in Chicago today? See two different things? So if I'm optimizing the voice, I'm going to optimize to what's the weather in Chicago today? If I'm optimizing the text, it's just weather in Chicago today. Now, can you run from either? No, you got to use both. And that's where you're seeing things get layered on each other. So voice search is smart. I mean, very, very huge. You can see Amazon now creating skills. They call it skills, where you can go on there and create your ads on Amazon and stuff. So people, and that's what's going to happen over time. Now we noticed what's going to happen is you have Google and all these search engines as the World Wide Web. Well, what's going to happen now is each one of these people are now going to have their hubs. So Amazon will have its hub through smart speakers, and then it's not the World Wide Web anymore. It's the Amazon Web. You know, this one too will have theirs. It's not the World Wide Web anymore. It's this web where you can optimize, especially on this, where it's now popping up on here quicker than it is on the web because you've optimized in that platform. Very huge. And something that you really want to think about, talk to your strategist about, especially your SEO strategist, because you want to make sure that all those terms are being captured. The next one is social media stories. With the growing popularity of stories, as you can see, stories are here to stay. With the growing popularity of stories is almost an understatement. And I will tell you as a marketer, this was not one of the things that I thought would stick. I'm not even sure that the big companies even thought it would stick. The rationale still behind it sticking is still very speculative. One thing we do know is that people like it. People like it. Gives you the opportunity to do more things a little bit more organically. It's up there for 24 hours, so it creates the FOMO, fear of missing out. You could put deals and all that stuff. It also doesn't let you always have to pose or be grandeur for a picture. It humanizes you a whole lot more. So you almost can't say, oh, I don't post because of how I am, because you could take quick things and stuff. The only thing is, because it's there for 24 hours, it's not there forever, just like your other content, because your content being posted there permanently helps you. I'll tell you why. There's so many times that you even search on a search engine, and it's your content on social media that shows up. All you got to do is go to the images, even if it doesn't show up on there, and that helps your SEO. Another trick, but we'll leave that alone. So the stories really, really help a whole lot. Got a question. Should I focus more on posts or should I focus more on stories? And that's sort of left to you. But I will tell you this. If you know the fact that posts last forever and stories don't, it gives you an opportunity to look at your business and go, do we need this more or do we need that more? But at least having it as an option is very, very helpful, you know, and gives you the latitude, I guess, to put a lot more content out there. Now, let's go to the next one. Simple post strategies. So we just wrapped up the trends, social media, digital marketing trends for 2019. As you could see, going over again, AI, artificial intelligence, chatbot and messaging apps, video marketing, micro moments, voice search and smart speakers, social media stories. One that's not here also, which is sort of huge, is also image. We'll actually put that here, image search, which now through Google, you can upload images and search. Yep. You know, so those are really, really great trends that are happening now. And I will tell you, by 2020, there's a likelihood none of these will be on here. Or even if they are, a lot more have been added there. So let's go now back to our simple post strategies for major platforms. So each platform has their own sort of what I want to call DNA. They didn't create it this way. Pretty much us as consumers made it this way. You know what I'm saying? And so what we realized is so many of these simple ways just to look at these platforms will help you look at how to post the post strategy for each of these platforms. So we're going to play you this right here so you can see that.
Hi, Dr. Mayo with BizCrown Media. A while back ago, not too long ago, I actually came out with a video that encouraged businesses and brands to be on as many social media platforms as much as possible. Why? You actually increase your chances of reaching more people because different people prefer to be on different platforms more. So being on one platform sort of restricts you, but then that leads to the question of, if I have all these platforms, how do I post on them? Do I post the same content on all these platforms? And in many instances, many businesses do, and many times we do, but In all actuality, different platforms have different strategies. And you might have seen different infographics out there that use maybe beer or wine or coffee for social media explained to sort of explain it in a simple way for a social media strategy. So we're going to use coffee today to sort of explain that because it's Monday morning. I would have loved to use beer or wine, but we'll leave that out. So we're going to use coffee. And so for Facebook, the coffee social media explained says, Facebook, I like coffee, which means as a business, the things that you like, the things that people like, the things that your audience will like that they're in tune to. Those are the things or in tune with, or those are the things you want to put on your Facebook page, things that are just, you like them. On Twitter, it's I'm drinking coffee with your hashtag coffee, drinking. And in this instance, whether you're hashtagging drinking or coffee, you are attracting people who are either drinking or who are interested in coffee, just with that simple statement. Instagram, that is where you actually have the filtered version of your coffee. So it's not how your coffee would look on a normal picture, the normal picture. It's like filtered, like looking extremely cool, like the animated factor is that on Instagram. LinkedIn, what LinkedIn is, hey, I know it's all my business, coffee. I know how to handle coffee. I know how to drink coffee. I have the skills. We're talking about coffee skills, whether it's drinking or making, I'm the man you want to come to. I'm the man that can help you out. YouTube is here. Watch me making coffee. Watch me drinking coffee. So that if you want to be part of my coffee crew, this is how we do it, through visuals. So be part of that. Pinterest, on the other hand, is here's my coffee recipe, just in case you need it, broken down for you so you can make it anytime. Blogging is where you actually go into a more detailed explanation of how you drink your coffee, why you drink your coffee, how you drink your coffee, where you drink your coffee, so that you can attract people that are interested in your coffee and how you drink it or different things about your coffee. So those are different platforms, and we've used coffee as a post strategy on how you can actually strategically post on all those platforms. So for a business, there are different ways and different platforms that you can leverage, and these are different psychologies behind those platforms that could hopefully help you have a sound social media post strategy.
So there you have it, quickly by using coffee. And wanted to do that because, again, we just wanted to make this, or I wanted to make this quite simple. So looking at that, it sort of lets you know, wow, these are pretty much the psychologies for all these platforms, And so you're welcome to watch that video. It's on YouTube, but it's I even go back to it at times and go, okay, yeah, this is what we need to do and stuff on each platform, because there's a lot, when you are quite busy doing a whole lot of things, tend to just go by the wayside, and you always have to, I like to say, ground yourself by going back again to the basics. So skipping to that, we're going to go now to social media for local marketing. Social media for local marketing. Okay. So actually, this is social media. Let's do that. Media for local marketing. Yes. Okay. So here, when social media first started, a lot of people were not so aware of how impactful it was or how it could be for your local business. It is tremendously important, very, very important at this point, that if you are on Facebook, Twitter, and all these things, to look for ways to attract local traffic, especially if you have a physical location, especially if you're looking to attract local business. And so here are a few things that you want to look at, because it works. It really, really does work. And so the first one is, look at what your local competition is doing. It's very important just to have an idea on what they're doing. Call it a competitive analysis. This lets you know if they're engaging with their customers, what's catching fire out there for them and stuff. Here's the punchline, though. Because they're your competitor doesn't mean you have to go exactly with their strategy. Every business, no matter how many are in the same industry, is different. I call businesses the same as sort of DNA. Every business has their own DNA. Every business is particular. It's special, no matter how it is. And so you're learning from that to see what's working and how you can apply that to yourself. So it's very important just to look and say, this is what my competition is, what my competition is. Okay, maybe I can do this. The next one is local influencer marketing. Local influencer marketing, I like to say local influencer marketing because influencers have been termed to be now celebrities or people that are well known. And influence marketing doesn't have to be a celebrity or somebody that's well known. Influence marketing for local people could just be 2 businesses or 3 businesses partnering, and then as a result sharing so much on social media that it attracts a lot of local traffic, awareness to what they do. And so businesses that didn't know about you or have heard about you, now when they see that you're collaborating with businesses they know, gives you a lot more clout. The pictures that they see shows them a whole lot more about what you do. The fact that you're partnering in the community spreads a whole lot more in the community. So local influencer marketing is not always about looking for the local celebrity. No, local influencer marketing is also about finding local people that you have some sort of connection with, that you can partner with, and show up together in pictures, post things. It helps a whole lot. Next one is sharing local relevant news on your pages. This is huge, and I'm gonna make it bold. Why this is huge is, if you think of it, this just a few months ago, social media became the top source of news information. It beat out newspapers. So it's where people get their information. Now, if that's the top source of where people get their news and their information, you as a business have to think about how then you can incorporate that. And I will tell you that for a lot of businesses that we assist with social media, this is very impactful, especially if you're in some industries like the real estate industry. Very huge if you're a realtor, because people that want to move to somewhere want to know about the things happening locally. And so if you're providing that information, you are building so much credibility. So it's very huge to really consider sharing local, relevant though, make it relevant, very local and relevant news as much as possible. Social media ads targeted locally. The next one, ads work. Friends, ads work, because you could target them. And the thing about it is, a lot of people expect the unexpected from ads. It just depends on what your business is. So if you're a realtor and you're selling, your sale points are in the thousands. Of course, it's going to take some more time than when you're just selling a t-shirt that's $10, in a different psychology. But when you think of it, the most important thing about social media is connecting and communicating. So the more you connect, the more you communicate, the more the conversions come out of that. And with ads, you could do a perfect job in targeting people based on different psychologies that never existed before. That we had no imaginable way to know how people that like Star Wars could be targeted to get things for Star Trek if there's if there's some sort of match there. But now you can with all these ads. So it's very important. Connect with local people and businesses. This actually used to be very, very rampant back in the day. I noticed that it's sort of slowed down, but now it's something that still has been very important. So liking a business as a business, liking a business, tagging a business and all that really, really helps. So connect with local people. Also connect with local businesses. Give them shout outs if you can. Use local hashtags and posts. Hashtags are very important. Hashtags, I call them the language of social media. And all you have to do is search a hashtag on Google and see what comes out. And so using local hashtags lets people that are searching for things locally know about you. I met a lady, recently, who pretty much does all her makeup through Instagram. And the way she does that is by putting a lot of local hashtags. So hashtags are very important because people search by it. The search engines recognize it. And if I'm not mistaken, that's going to actually happen more and more. hashtags are going to be just more integrated in a whole lot of things for digital marketing. That's why now you'll see them on YouTube, Twitter, like all platforms are using hashtags. LinkedIn wasn't using hashtags before. Now they are, you know. Even YouTube, I didn't remember seeing hashtags on YouTube. Now they are. So it's very, very important. Now we're going to go to SEO. Let's flip this. SEO for local marketing. Now, what is SEO? I'm going to go back to what SEO is. SEO is search engine optimization. So we know that most of us do our research online. If you're going to buy something, most of us go online to search for it. What we also know is that if you're on the first page or the second page or listed in the map section, you get first dibs. First dibs is a lot. Why? Think about this. If there are 100,000 people searching for what you do and you end up on the first page, you're going to get a lot of phone calls. If you're on the third page, you're not. And getting a lot of phone calls turns into conversions. Absolutely right. So very important that depending on what you do, that you're optimizing your web presence. And the things that we look at is the title, the meta description. Very important. It's very important that what you're labeling, what your meta tags are, and what your titles are, because those are what do the calls. Those are what the engines recognize. It's also important that you get your business listed correctly and consistently on top online business directories like Yelp and more. A lot of people don't know they miss out a whole lot on this. It's like the chambers. A lot of small businesses don't know how much web traffic they get from the local chambers. Well, the local chambers too don't even know or quantify how much traffic that they're providing these people. So at times you'll go to a chamber and go, I don't see the value in this, not knowing that they are providing you a whole lot of value. But being listed on Yelp and stuff. I mean, being on Google, let's use according to Google, roughly 4 out of 5 consumers use engines to conduct local search. Check your local newspaper's website and your Chamber of Commerce to see if they have local business directory you can get listed on. Very important, because these things are signals to the search engine to pull you out. These are what people go and search for. You know, Google My Business, very, very important. If you haven't claimed your Google My Business today, especially if you have a physical location, I can't stress how important this is for you. This is very, very important. Claim and optimize it. It's very important for local businesses to claim their Google My Business, their Google listing. You can get incredible exposure if you're optimized enough to show up on Google's local 3-pack. Local 3-pack is where you're showing up on the maps. You know, top 3, very huge. Your listings, your Google My Business really, really helps you. Also, the good thing about Google My Business is you get to see analytics. So you see where all your conversions are coming from. You get to see the terms that they're searching for to find you. It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. So if you're a business physically located and you haven't done that, it's very important going into 2019 that you do, because roughly 30% of the businesses don't claim it. Yes, 30% of the businesses don't claim it. So that's very important. Online reviews. Wow. Now, this is very important. This is actually something that even we as a business are stepping up our game on. 84% of people trust online reviews as much as personal recommendations, and 7 out of 10 customers will leave a review for a business if asked by the business. So, reviews have a huge lifetime value for your business, because a review written today, read, and next year could bring you a sale, could bring you a conversion. So it's very, very important that you're asking for reviews. Now, we as a business haven't done as much great stuff with that, but we are going to. It's something that I've actually outlined as a plan, because we do so much phenomenal things for people. And in many instances, they won't just do it on their own and go there. You have to ask them. This is why this is important. 7 out of 10 customers will leave a review for your business if asked by the business. And there are many tools or many ways to get this out there and stuff. You want to be careful in using those tools, because if you also send it out, if those tools go to people you've done business with that have had issues with you, they won't put as many great reviews. So but that lets you know the idea is be good to everybody, you know, be good to everybody in all your reviews. And I tell people, even if somebody gives you a bad review addressing it is really, really what's important. If you can address it, and the public gets to see you addressing it, it's totally understandable. Because you think of it, if visualize this. If you're out there and you see somebody screaming at somebody who's just quiet, you'll get to go, okay, that person's a little crazy because the person they're screaming to isn't screaming back. That person seems a little bit more composed, right? And that's the same effect that you get. So all these will help your local marketing. All these will help optimize you for local marketing. Only one that's also not here is using video for SEO local marketing. That would really, really help too. In our 45-minute, we are going to the final one. Create or revise your digital marketing plan. So based on all what we've said, what we've gone through within these past 45 minutes, at a high level, I want to say a high level because this is quite technical, but I wanted to simplify. The whole point of this session is to simplify it so you can look from a higher level and then dive in to know what to do. So in creating or revising your digital marketing plan, here are a few things you want to look at. Make sure you have proactive marketing. Proactive marketing is marketing that's going out there for you. It's proactively doing stuff for you. I like to say social media falls within that because if you're posting stuff, you're putting stuff about yourself out there that's making people aware of what you do. People aren't actively searching. So good proactive marketing catches people's awareness and goes, oh, wow, I need that. I didn't even know they made that. And because you're putting stuff out there, then they buy it. Social media falls perfectly under that. Make sure you have good reactive marketing. Reactive marketing is when you're optimized so that when people are searching for you, your content is there to help them out. So you notice the difference. The first one is reaching out to catch people's attention. The other one is being there, being available. You know, when people are searching so that your content shows up and then they know, call this person, talk to this person. Now, those two key things that I've just mentioned here, number 1 and number 2. If you're not going to leave with anything in this webinar session, apart from the 3 C's, because that's very important, make sure that these sink in. Because with this, what you get is balanced marketing. Right there. You're catching it all at this point. So very important that you have this always working for you, you know. Next one, make sure you set up a consistent operation. Going back to the 3 C's, consistency is important. If you have great content that you put out 3 times a year in this day and age, you won't get much from it. You won't. We are in information load times where there's so much coming at us from our phones, from our family, that things that spark our attention, things that are consistently in front of us right now are things that really, really matter. So it's very important that your operation is consistent. If you don't have a social media person, a digital marketing person, constantly doing stuff for you there, then you have to put it on yourself to do that. And I know it's hard. It's hard. That's why you have strategists. That's why you have assistants and stuff. I'll give you a good example. We have one of our medical practices that we're assisting, and they wanted their doctors to a doctor of theirs to do posts and stuff. Well, for 2 months, he only did 2 posts, and they were sort of like, "Wait, why are you not doing this?" And I go, "Well, this guy went to medical school not to learn how to post on social media. He went to medical school to learn how to treat patients." And that's what you have to keep in mind. You know, this is very, very important. So you have to leave it for the professionals to do. You can, like I say, go to Walmart, get a plain t-shirt and get something to iron something on it, or go to a professional printer and have them print something that's professional on it. When you show up for that event, people will know what the tacky one was and what came out from a professional. So very, very important. Factor in new trends and technologies and how you and your team can use them. All what we've listed today still falls under the 3 C's, but they're new technologies and new apps. A good time to sit down and go, now we do stories. Who's going to be putting up the stories? What are we going to be putting up on stories? Now we have chat boxes. What are we going to configure for our chat boxes? You know, these are new trends and new apps that if you don't use them, you're being left behind. Number 5, it's all about content. At the end of the day, what you're putting out, whether you're talking, whether you're posting, whether you're listing, whether you're doing this, it's all content. All content. So the more you create, the more you put out there, the more you're going to get out of it. And that's the rule of the matter. If you think of it, back in the day, you were fine with 2-3 posts from Facebook in a week, and now they recommend 2-3 a day, if not more. Back in the day, 2-3-4 pins a day, 9 now recommended. Back in the day, 2-3 tweets a day, up to 20 now recommended in some instances. We are in the information times. To get yourself out there means that your information has to be busy. Your information has to be out there. Your content has to be out there. And then finally, ask for help. Professionals deliver. Similar to what I was saying. So if you can't do this on your own, ask for help. Still met with somebody earlier on today where she said, I spent 2-3 hours doing this stuff yesterday and I couldn't get anything out of it. And then I realized, I'm not supposed to be doing this. I should be talking to Dr. Mayo. You know? And that's just the reality of it. And so it's the same with me. There's so many things that I could decide I could do on my own and stuff. But if I do it, what am I going to get out of it? Not the most effective and professional outcome. And so as a business, I have to factor that in and go along the lines of what will bring in a lot more results efficiently for less of my time and what will make me focus on my business more. So there it is. We nailed it for our 15 minutes. We will be going into the question section, but going to wrap up the webinar. The webinar aspect now. And so once again, want to thank you for spending the time with me here, learning a whole lot more about the digital marketing landscape, I should say, going into the new year. I hope all the information here is beneficial for you. I hope all the information actually brings out a whole lot more for you. I do know though, that if you do stick to the strategies, the brief strategies here, and go a level deeper, you will get results from it going into this new year. And till 2020, there's a whole lot more that will be happening. So if you need assistance, we are BizCrown Media. You can contact us online. You can reach us via phone. You could send us a message, and we'll be more than happy to assist you. So have a great and wonderful 2019. Wishing you a very, very prosperous one. And I hope you take your digital marketing to the next level. And I know that if you do, your digital marketing is going to bring you great, great, great results in the new year. Thank you. Have a great year.